In this video, I'm going to show you how to turn boring basic vocals recorded on voice memos like these. Ooh, when the sun falls. And turn it into a crazy Nico Baran sample just like this. First break down a sample I made, and along the way you'll learn how exactly Nico Baran makes these samples, plus how to incorporate it into a sample. Later I'll cook up a vocal sample and take you along the way on how to make these vocals yourself, and also how to process them using paid and free plugins. So I got you guys. Anyways, enough talking, let's break down the sample. So here's a sample, I'm gonna play it out for you, and then after I'll show you how I made the custom vocal, how to mix it, and how to process it. So the whole sample is in 119 BPM, but when you record your vocals, you want to slow it down almost to like about 3/4 of what the tempo is. So I originally sped it down to 80 BPM, and here's what I recorded. We are running out of time. Ooh, we're running out of time. Ooh. So what I did after I had this recorded is I went over to this website called Kits.ai. What you do is you're going to put your vocal in right here, and once it's done, you should be taken over to this page. And over here you can add voices, you can play around with them and hear what you like, and this is the one that I chose. Quiero ver bailar tu pelo, quiero ser tu ritmo. We are running out of time. Oh. And because they make you pay to download it, you can get this free Chrome extension called sample. You're gonna hit record right here, and you can play it out and it will record it from there. Once you're done, click end, download, this button right here. You'll be able to add it to your downloads and just drag it right in. And every link to everything will be in the description of this video, so go check that out after. Now after you get dragged in, you want to play with the pitch. You can either add like an auto tune on this, or what I do, you're gonna take it, you're gonna click on edit and pitch corrector. That's gonna take you here, and you'll be able to edit everything from here. So one of the cool reasons I use this is because you can add a custom vibrato, like right here. And this sounds much better when you speed it up in the end. But before you do anything, you can play with this center knob to make sure every note is pretty close to the center of the scale, and the variation will just pull those peaks down in the pitch variation. To edit the vibrato, you want to go up here to this tool, go to edit advanced vibrato. Once you're here, double click, you'll be able to edit the frequency and how much. So you can go over the top or just keep it pretty plain. And once I was done with the pitch and I had sped it back up to the original time at 119 BPM, here's what that sounds like. We are running out of time. Oh, we're running out of time. Oh. After that, I double clicked and I brought the format shift down 300. You can see it right up here. You're editing it. And I just route it to a mixer track. Now, because the Kits website adds a lot of compression to the vocal itself, so I really didn't have to touch compression myself. The other things that I really added are these two plugins right here. This plugin, I'm just using a tape emulation, getting a nice texture to the vocal. And right here is a micro shift, and it's just widening the vocal out. I'll show you what that sounds like real quick. We are running out of time. Oh. You can honestly achieve the same effect with like a basic chorus, like right here. We are running out of time. Oh. And then I routed it over here, and I added a reverb, but I made it mono, and it adds a really cool effect with the reverb. We are running out of time. Oh. We're running out of time. So that mono reverb adds like a kind of roomy feel to the end of the reverb, and it kind of gives it a new texture that you probably would have heard before. And on the master, I added a pitch shifter, bring it up 50 cents. That's going to give the entire sample its own new texture. if you're struggling to get the vocal to sit right within the sample, you try a couple things, like playing around with EQ settings, and I'll show you what I mean by that. If the vocal isn't cutting through in the frequency spectrum, meaning that the sample is taking up too many frequencies within this whole thing, you can increase one and lower the rest to give its own narrowed sound. You can also have things like delays to kind of grab your ear and grab your attention, so you definitely hear it within the sample. You can even modulate the echo by going create automation clip. Do that just by right clicking on here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it here all the way down, and I just want the delay to come in right over here. Something Nico Baran excels at is making his samples very unique, so you can get that by experimenting with your own effects people haven't tried before and creating your own sound. So basically just go crazy and find your own effects that you like. So now that we're done breaking down this sample and you understand all the fundamental techniques of how and why we do these things to make the vocal, I'm now going to walk you through and make a sample here with you and show you through every step. And show you through every step along the way, from recording, to mixing, to even making the sample itself. So let's go. Alright, so I got this idea out now, like a little sample starter idea. I'm gonna play that for you quick, and then after I'm gonna record the vocals, and I'll come back to you after that. And I'm gonna go record the vocals, and I'll catch you back when I'm done. So like I said last time, you wanna lower the BPM when recording. So I had this start at the 122, and I brought it down to 91, and this is where it all started. I'll play them for you really quick, and then we're gonna go into the mixing and how to process them.
Ooh, when the sun falls. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, when the sun falls. Sun. When the sun falls.
And here they are by themselves.
Ooh, when the sun falls.
So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just pitch correct them really fast. I'm gonna throw them both into auto tune, and then we're gonna bring it over to Kits.ai.
Ooh, when the sun falls. Ooh.
Also, I'm just take a little bit of high end. You can tell there's a lot of extra high end that I don't want when I put it into the AI. When you put extra things into the AI, it's gonna add artifacts and make the vocal sound a little bit worse.
Ooh, when the sun falls.
Now I'm just gonna take the extra silence parts out of the vocal, so when I put it in the AI, there's no extra things that are getting processed. And after I'm done chopping everything, I'm gonna remove all the silence parts, highlight everything. I'm gonna take this out just to smooth every cut so nothing's too abrupt. Let's hear that sounds really fast.
Falls. Ooh, sun falls. Sun.
Alright, now I'm going to export both of these as their own save. Enable master effects, nothing else. Now, put that in right there. And then I'm going to play around with some vocals, try some different voices I like, and I'll pick the right one. And I'll come back to you when I pick the one I like. Right now I'm just playing with a couple. I'm going to let them all convert and pick like maybe 4 or 5. And then out of the 4 or 5, once they're done converted, I'll pick the best one out of those.
To make those rainbows in my mind. Es morir de amor.
Alright, we're getting a couple back. I'm gonna go play them real quick.
Ooh, when the sun falls. Ooh, when
when the sun falls.
Ooh, when the sun falls. Ooh.
Alright, I think that's the best one. I'm gonna go use a sample, click record, and then play it out.
Ooh.
Click done, and record it, and then we're gonna bring it in. Alright, now that's in. Double click on the sample, right click in here, edit and pitch corrector. Now the absolute first thing I'm gonna do is turn the center up about 3 o'clock, about 2 o'clock.
Ooh.
Alright, so I'm noticing the first thing I gotta pitch is right here. So for this, I want to turn the variation down because it's kind of getting too much artifacts. So now we're gonna go and add the vibrato. Like I said before, go to this little scissor icon and edit advanced vibrato. We're gonna go to the end of every phrase, that's decently long. Double click. First thing you want to do is adjust your frequency. You don't want to have too much vibrato going on. You just want a little bit, just subtle amount, but you want the amplitude to be a little bit higher.
Ooh, when the sun falls. When falls, 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 falls. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
And sometimes when the highlighted part is longer than the actual note is, take this cut tool and just cut at the end. When you double click for your vibrato, you can get more control over what you want to happen. Alright, now that we're done with the pitching, take this icon right here. I'm just going to chop it to how it was before, and then we're going to get into the mixing part of it. Alright, so now double click on them, go to stretch, both, and you're going to bring your tempo back to what it was. It was like 120 about. 22. Just throw a pitch shifter on the master really quick. See how it would sound pitched a little bit. Let's hear that sounds.
Ooh, when the sun falls. Ooh, 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 ooh.
I'm gonna bring the tempo back down a little bit. 112, 113 is a little bit good. Alright, something you can do is just double click, change it from stretch to stretch pro. Now you can edit the format. See up in the top left of the screen.
Ooh, when the sun falls. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Alright, now route it to a mixer track, and let's to mixing it. So for this one, I'm gonna do paid plugins, and then on this one, on track 11, I'm gonna do free plugins. I'm gonna start with the free plugins real quick, and the first thing I'm gonna do is throw an EQ on there. Just cut the lows, and just fix it up a little bit.
When the sun falls, when the sun falls, sun.
Now we're gonna add a little bit of compression. You wanna check your meter over here on the left, and see where you want the compression to start at. At about 18 is a little bit good. Start at it.
When the sun falls, sun.
This plugin right here, just gonna give you a bit of saturation, kind of cut through the mix a little more, add more frequencies than it didn't have before. Now I'm gonna add a chorus.
When the sun falls, sun.
Now I'm gonna add delay. I think I'm gonna modulate it a little bit. I'm gonna add a short decay reverb to kind of give a room effect. We can do that by turning the size down and turn a decay down to like 5 seconds. And then just one final EQ. And let's hear how that sounds with the sample now. the pitch shifter on the master. Here's how that sounds. Now for the second vocal, I'm just going to go through some paid effects. It might sound a little bit better. That's just because some of the effects you can't achieve with free plugins. So you probably could. I don't have them. You could do your research, but I'll show you what effects you need to be using.
When the sun falls.
So a chorus type plugin is called Microshift by Sound Toys.
When the sun falls. When the sun falls. When the sun falls.
Little less effects, just an EQ, a chorus type plugin, Microshift, delay as before, saturation just like Blood Overdrive, an ending EQ, and then a mono at the end. Let's hear how that sounds with the sample, and then I'll throw the pitch shifter on at that.
When the sun falls. When the sun falls.
Now we have the vocal portion of the sample. I'm going to go in and I'm going to finish the sample up with you, take you through my thoughts of how to make these vocal samples as a finished sample. This shit is banging, bro. We finished the entire sample. We're at the end of the video. I hope you've taken some things away from this video. Most importantly, I hope you've learned how to make these samples yourself, how to use the effects, free and paid, and I hope you stay creative and you can make more samples like this. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe and like, because I love making these videos. If you support, I'll make more. So, catch you next one.